Yes, good morning, people. Good morning. I've got the wrong layout. Bear with me 1 second. What's going on in here, Savva? What's going on here? There we go. How we doing, people? How we all doing? Guys, girls, it is... Oh, I tell you, let's get some light in here. Let's get some light in here. And is there an FA Cup game on? I'm so underprepared today. I was up early and then I had to go and quickly do something, and it's thrown my timings all out the window. Just seeing, is there a FA Cup game on at 12 p.m.? Am I right in saying that? Fulham is 12. What channel is that on? Anyone know? TNT2. There we go. TNT2. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I've been watching a lot of videos, a lot of content in the last few days. Teddy Sheringham, Redknapp, Sherwood, Michael Dawson, a lot of people talking about Spurs and what needs to happen. And Michael Dawson, I think, got it right. He said, everyone said anyone but Frank, but he said, I don't think they actually thought it through. Who would have thought? Now, that's not to say Frank is the right man, but was he the right man? Was he the right man that keeps you up? Because he's never been relegated before. And he had us higher than this. He had us more points above relegation than this. Everyone hated it. Everyone hated what was working at the beginning of the season, by the way. Do you remember how many of these YouTubers, for example, when it was Bentancur and Paulinho, they just moaned, oh, it's not attacking enough for at home. But we were picking up points. We were hard to beat. We weren't conceding goals. Comes away from it and they'll go, oh, why aren't we better? Maybe he understood. But Sherwood went, Frank went, and we're now in a position where it's got worse. Okay, so where do we go from here? 9 Premier League games to go. How many points are coming in? Now, a lot of people did their prediction, didn't they, when Frank was sacked. We had 12 games to go, and I did mine. I'm sure many of you did yours. And I said, I think we're going to get 7 points. Now, I was obviously lots of people like me. Oh, you're negative. You're toxic. You've given up. No, none of that. I just don't think this squad is very good. If you take out components like Mohamed Kudus, we don't have good players. Now, 7 points was my prediction. And I'm struggling to see where Spurs get 7 points from 9 games now. I said 7 with 12. I'm struggling now to see, and I think maybe I've been too optimistic in saying 7 from 12 games. The big issue still remains. There's no Q. The Q word, quality. If I get told by one more person these are better players than we're seeing, please stop. You have the data, you have the evidence, you just don't want to believe it. When Spurs have got everyone fit, we're fine. When everyone's fit, you can have some resemblance of balance. You can have a right back and a left back. In a Dogi can go at left back. Not the greatest player, but balance. You can have Kudus on the right wing, balance. You can have balance. When they are not fit, this is what you are left with. You are left with a great big concoction of footballers that aren't very good. Now, and no, people asking if this is from OK Jersey. No, this is not. This is a shirt that Chris made for me. Football Heritage TV. This is a one of a kind. This doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And this is what I sent to someone earlier, because this is why when people are so, honestly, people go, these players are better. I genuinely, I don't think our fans know a footballer anymore. I've said it a lot. I get in trouble. But I don't think a lot of our fans know what a good footballer looks like. Not, oh, they work hard. Not, oh, he fights for a good footballer. Right? And I said this. I said, we have no left winger, no right winger, no ball playing midfielders, poor fullbacks, overrated centre backs, and championship level strikers. Can anyone truly right now argue any of that with me? Can anyone argue that with me? Because for me, this is clear as day. For me, this is clear as day as to how bad this squad is. Yes, when Maddison is fit, when Kudus is fit, that completely changes the scope of how we attack. But right now, I don't know, like anyone that's people leading up to the Palace game going, I think we win tonight. Cool. Based on what? But based on what? What? Based on Tell? Based on what? Solanke? Based on what are we seeing? And the funny thing about it is it doesn't seem to matter how bad we see these players year after year. They still don't seem to take as much blame as the managers do. It doesn't mean managers get away scot-free, but maybe, just maybe, these players aren't what some of you think they are. If you do not have balance, philosophy, if you do not have structure, nothing else means anything, does it? And I've said this for how many years have I said this? And those of you that watch me regularly know, we can sit and go, we've got a better squad than X, Y, Z. But if it's not put together properly with a plan in mind, none of it matters. And then everyone comes out with the cliches, just got to fight. Sure. But fighting alone doesn't get you out of this. You got to be like a team. And that's why, for me, I just think Spurs need to go back to right now, the basics, keeping it simple. But for some reason, we're not. For some reason, it's almost as though it's not seeped in yet to the manager or the players as to how bad this is. And you got Dominic Solanke coming out after the game the other day. We understand this. It's like, we had this for years, didn't we? Van der Ven does it one week. Romero does it the next. Then it's Porro. Then it's Vicario. Now Solanke's coming out. No, listen to what I'm saying, Destiny. This was me being hopeful that we're going to get 7 points. Listen to the words I'm saying. I don't know where those points are coming from right now. I don't see us getting a single thing at Liverpool, and Forest look like an organised team. And unless this manager goes back to basics, but which is not really what he is as a manager, right? If this manager goes back to basis, just get a back four, settle it down, get a back four. But again, I know we've got to change it, haven't we, for Liverpool because of Van der Ven, but get a back four. As a back four, none of this, you shuffle across or you push into midfield or you back four, play a back four. I watch Forest right now. They've got a back four. Nico Williams, Dalot, I'll get the names right in a minute. Nico Williams, Milenkovic, Murillo, and Aina. Just a back four. But just a back four. Play a back four with a back four. None of this, oh, well, he can slot into there when the midfielder. Play a back four. Go back to basics. Put a pivot in front. Let all those people cry that cried when it worked with Bentancur and Paulinho. They got what they wanted and then got annoyed when it happened. Get a midfield two and then get Simmons in the 10, Tell on the left and whoever on the right. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. We don't, do we? We've had 3 different formations in 3 games, 3 different sets of 11, and it don't matter which player the individual fan wants to not like. None of them have been good because the system doesn't allow them to settle. I don't rate many of these players, but if I'm gonna stick up for them in any way, if you do not settle on an 11, how can they settle as a team? And this is why when we I see it in the chat all the time, the player that people don't like. Listen, I don't rate many of these, but I can't look at the last 3 games and go, we lost that because of insert player. The whole thing is an absolute mess. And off the back of that, lots of talk. Who's the manager coming in? Now, reports yesterday that they've given the green light that Tudor will be in the dugout for the next game. Sure. Okay, cool. What is Tudor going to do? He's talking about boats. He's talking about people getting on the boat, people getting off the boat. I hate to break it to you, Igor. You've got 9 games. You're not here for 5 years. You're here for 3-4 months. Then the next question is, even if Tudor went, does anyone have faith in the owners, in the decision makers to then make the right decision? I don't know. Everyone's saying it, aren't they? Teddy Sheringham said it. Dawson said it. Sherwood said it. Redknapp said it. They've all said the same thing. Spurs need someone to go in, put their arm around the players, tell them how good they are, make them believe how good they are, and it's got to be someone that knows the club. Now, that's not my opinion. That's what they said. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Now, sure, but there's 9 games to go. There's 9 games to go. How quick can that effect take place? You know, we were 9 points above relegation. Then it was 7. And when Frank left us, it was 5 or 6. Now it's 1. There isn't the time for cuddling. There isn't the time for all of that stuff. So who comes in? Who's the magical manager that comes in, puts his arm around a lot of these players who quite simply aren't good enough and says, I'm the man. I'll make this happen. I'll keep you up. Now, you'll get those that say, right, make the change now, but Spurs are not, right? Spurs are not making the change now. We play in 2 days. We've not made the change, right? We've not made the change. And James, you're saying Poch is the manager of USA, right? Like he's not coming in now. He said he's going to take the US. He's not coming in now, right? Whoever comes in now is going to be that really quick fix. Is it the feel-good factor? I'm just picking out things people are saying in the chat. Feel-good factor, right? Is it a Sherwood? Now, the reason I've said Sherwood or Redknapp is those are the 2 that seem to be getting talked about the most by the pros in and around the game. Would a Redknapp, for example, be able to come in and galvanize this quickly? Because, guys, there's no time. Let's be brutally honest, right? And have a go at me all you want. I can't see a point at Liverpool. I just can't at all. That then leaves you with 8 games. And by this weekend, we could be in the bottom 3. That leaves you with 8 games to save your sinking ship. We've got Villa away. We've got Chelsea away. Right? We've got Forest to play, Leeds. These teams are battling and fighting. These guys are ready for this battle. They're in it. They're in it. They're in this. And we're not. And that's the worry. And that's why when people get... Someone said to me today, it sounds like you've given up. It's not about giving up. I'm just struggling to see where the points are coming from. I don't like these childish comments that are made. Like, oh, I'm asking, where are the points coming from? Who are we beating? Because whichever way people look at teams, oh, it's only them coming to our ground. We've won 2 at home all season. We've won 2 at home all season. And we suddenly think that, oh, we'll beat them at home. I don't see it. I don't know where it's coming from. We absolutely, I think Clinton Morrison called it. I think Clinton Morrison called it. I saw him yesterday on Sky Sports. He said teams can go down to 10 men He said, but Spurs went down to 10 men and collapsed within 8 minutes or 9 minutes. We collapsed, that wasn't a team going, right, we're down to 10 men. Let's fight. Let's battle. This is a team that went down to 10 men, felt sorry for themselves. Before you know it, it's 3-1, game's done. And then we come out in the second half, people go, oh, they gave it a go. Easy to come out and give it a go when you're 3-1 down. It's easy. The other team are comfortable, aren't they? Yeah, this is what people keep saying to me. We always come, when we're 2 down, we play. Yeah, because the other team aren't in a hurry. The other team aren't in a rush. The other team can hold on to what they've got. And Chris, this is half the problem, right? This is half the problem. I don't know where the points are coming from. And I get called negative all the time. I did a video about the protest and uniting, and the number of comments that came back and went, such a shit fan, just get behind the team. And when you're thinking to yourself, really? Like, I don't know whether with some fans it's sinked in yet either. I don't know if it has. I got sent some posts this morning from people going, most of these players will be made to stay as their punishment for next season. Don't worry, we'll come back up. And I'm thinking, are you not understanding what relegation means? Do you know what I mean? Are they not understanding? Now, that might be it, right? Harry and Tim, get them in together. I don't know. Guys, I don't know if anything will work right now. I am the most worried I've ever been as a football fan, as a Spurs fan. But this is the problem. Everyone put it on Bentancur, didn't they? How many of these people? They sat there and they went, Frank's too negative at home with Bentancur and Paulinho. But do you know what Bentancur and Paulinho did? They protected a very, very shaky back four, and they realised we don't have a lot going forward. They protected it. We didn't concede many goals. We were difficult to beat, but it wasn't enough. Because everyone thought we were going to go from 17th to 4th in 1 year. It wasn't enough. We just want to watch attacking football. Sure, we all want to watch attacking football, but you've got to have attacking players. You've got to have the right players. Where are the points coming from? I've done a poll asking, right? It says Tudor, Redknapp, Sherwood, or someone else. Only 280 votes. Come on, guys. There's over 600 of you in here. By the way, 600 of you in here. There's 85 likes and no one's voting. Guys and girls, come on. Come on. It's my Sunday morning. Come on. You can at least smash a like button. Where do they go next? Are they going to sack Tudor? I don't know. They brought him in. It's got worse. What do you do? How many defeats can we have in a row? Like, we're not even, at least under Frank, got the draws here or there. We're not even picking up a point under this manager right now. So who would you rather have? Say who you want, by the way. On the polls, we can only put in 4 options. So obviously I've said Tudor because he's here, Sherwood and Redknapp because they're the two that keep getting talked about, and then someone else. I don't know the answer, guys. I can't sit here and say because I don't know if it's too late. I don't know if it's too late. I mean, let's look at Spurs fixtures. Let's have a look at our fixtures. Forget the Champions League for the moment. So, Liverpool away. There you go, people in the chat. How many points are we getting from Liverpool away? I'll write this down. I'll predict. I'm going with 0. Liverpool, 0. Can't see it. I can't see it. It doesn't matter. People are going to me, Yeah, James, it's okay. James, it's okay to say Poch, but you can't get Poch now. I don't understand this conversation. You can't get him. You can't get him right now. I'd take him, but by the way, Poch is a very notoriously slow starter as a manager. Is that the guy you want in a relegation battle? I don't know. I mean, we got Liverpool, followed by Forest at home. I'm going to be generous and say 1 point. Not even sure I believe it. Not even sure I believe it. If I was a Forest player going into that game, I'm thinking, yeah, we can get to these. We can get to these. And that's the harsh reality. I watched Forest against City. I watched Forest against Liverpool. That did not look like a team down in relegation. It looked like a team that had a back four with a right back and a left back, a right winger and a left winger, a ball playing midfielder, a box to box midfielder, a goal scorer. I'm worried. So Forest, I'm going to go with one. And honestly, guys, I am clutching. Sunderland away. Sunderland away. What do you reckon? I mean, let's be fair. Sunderland have got nothing to play for. I mean, I don't know if they can still outside chance of Europe, but I just can't see it. It will be a cauldron of noise. Their team is well organised, well drilled. They'll be up for it. They don't lose many at home. If I'm not wrong, I think they've lost one, maybe at the Stadium of Light, maybe two, maybe one. I don't know. I'll go with one. I'm being generous. I'm being generous again. One. After Sunderland, we play Brighton at home. I don't know. Again, Brighton will play like a team. They're not the greatest team, but they will keep the ball. They will move it nicely. They will find gaps. They will get in behind us. Now, this isn't an exact science, is it? Like we can all sit. This isn't an exact science. Spurs could go and win one of these games and we go, oh, I did not see that coming. Spurs could go to Anfield, scrape a 1-0 win, and we all go, oh, well, that threw the cat amongst the pigeons. I'm just trying to look at it logically at the moment, and I can't see it. And then the game after Brighton is Wolves. Wolves are playing with a freedom of a team that are down. They've got no pressure on them. They've got no pressure on them, have they, Wolves? None. No pressure. And that's dangerous. Reading from where that he's been sacked. I haven't seen anything to suggest he's been sacked. So I'll be generous. I've gone with 0 to Brighton, 1 point to Wolves. There you go. I'm going to go 1 point at Wolves. Big up, Dylan. Good to see you on the members show, my man. Good to see you. Right, after Wolves, Aston Villa away. I mean, Aston Villa are having a bit of a wobble. But who do you want to play if you're having a wobble? Play Tottenham, don't you? Villa. I don't know. How many points do you get at Villa? I mean, you got Liverpool, Forest, Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves, now Villa. Would anyone right now like to tell me we're going to get a point or 3 points at Villa Park? Not impossible, but realistically, realistically, how many points do we get at Villa Park? I'm going to go with 0. So far, from our next 6 games, I've got not 1 win. Now, for balance, I'm going to put the Leeds game down as a win. And that is me being mighty hopeful because Leeds United battle. Leeds is the next game at home. I'm going to go with 3 points. I don't even, again, look at my face. I don't even believe what I'm saying. I don't believe what I'm saying. But I'm gonna put it in. Then we have Chelsea away and Everton at home. Now, so far, with my generosity, because I'm nice like that, from Liverpool, Forest, Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves, Villa and Leeds, I've got 6 points. I don't even believe this myself. We got 6 points. Going into Chelsea away. Guys, do we need to play that game? Chelsea away? Do I need to sit here and explain why? Do I? So if we get 0 at Chelsea and then Everton. Now, in that time, I've got Spurs down for 6 points. Is the sound cutting out? Is the sound keep cutting out? Anybody can anybody confirm that, or is it just only one person said it? Is everything okay with the sound? Okay, it's all good. Okay, cool. So then we go to 6 points. That puts Spurs, by my reckoning, going into the Everton game. Here we go. Let's see how right or wrong I am. Going into the Everton game with 35 points. Now, if we have to go to the last game of the season with 35 points, is that going to be enough to have us still in a chance of staying up? And can we beat Everton at home on the last day of the season to stay up? Now, Everton are very good away. Strong, organised, hard-working. Not got bags and bags of quality, so to speak, but that's a team. That's a team that's been put together as a team. Now, there might be Everton fans that hate how they play, but that's a team. That's a team with a structure. And whether you like the philosophy, it's got a philosophy. They are strong at the back. They are warriors. They fight. They battle. And I reckon 1 point. So I have gone with Liverpool 0. And again, guys, I'm being really generous. I feel like I'm being really generous here. I've gone with Liverpool 0, Forest 1 point, Sunderland. By the way, guys, if any of these don't happen, don't stop going, oh, you predicted this. This is me trying to be positive. Liverpool 0, Forest 1, Sunderland 1, Brighton none, Wolves 1, Villa none, Leeds 3, Chelsea none, and Everton 1. Now, if that happens, let's hope I'm very wrong. If that happens, Spurs will end the season on 36 points. Now, here's the league table. Will 36 points be enough to keep someone in this league? If we get 36, okay, that means that Forest and West Ham, with the way the goal difference is right now, they will need 9 points. One of them, sorry, they will need 9 points, both of them, from their last 9 games. Now, that is on the proviso. That's on the proviso that Spurs get 7 points. I'll be honest. My heart says 7 points. My head thinks it will be closer to 4. And I would love to be wrong. I'd love to sit here and go, oh my God, we just won 3 on the bounce. We've got 9 points. We're safe. Right now, can anyone see any of this happening? And it's okay for fans to, oh, I'm glass half full. I'm not a child. That saying has never really meant anything to me. I'm glass half full. That's brilliant. You can be glass half full, but what have you got to be glass half full about? Realistically, what? Realistically, what is there to be glass half full about? We've not won for 11 games. The last 3 games have been absolutely horrific. We have conceded 9 goals. We have conceded 9 goals in 3 games. We haven't even gone back to basics. For a sanity check, Leeds United in their last 3 games have conceded 3. Leeds have conceded 1 goal a game for their last 3. And that was Villa and Man City and Sunderland. So, does Tudor go? Does it change anything for you? Are we literally sitting here and saying the feel-good factor of a Redknapp, of a Sherwood, of those that know the club, is that enough to turn Spurs' fortunes? Is it enough to turn our fortunes? I'm just looking at Forest, by the way. In Forest's last 3 Premier League games, they've conceded 4. Bearing in mind, they have played Liverpool and Man City in that time. Tottenham, yes, we played Arsenal, but we have also played Fulham and Palace. And between those games, we've conceded 9. And the point of why I'm saying is these clubs look like they're at least in the games fighting for the cause. We don't look like we are. And then on top of all of this, guys, we've got a bloody Champions League game. Now, at any point, if a football team did not need a European distraction, it has got to be Tottenham Hotspur, right? But that's where we are. A European distraction. That's where we are. And this is an interesting one. Talking about players come back from injury. Who is there really that comes back and changes things other than Mohamed Kudus? Who? Not having a go at you. I'm just asking, like, who? This is the problem. I think many of us thought that Kulusevski might be back for 2026. Now it's looking like he might never be back. Hope that Maddison might make the last month of the season. Now looking very unlikely. And then you got Kudus. He's the one, isn't he? And just think about it. As I said, all these people who go, Kudus is rubbish. We have been so much worse without Mohamed Kudus in this team. So much worse. Now, we know Kudus should be back in 3 weeks, I believe it is. I believe he's back for the end of March. I believe. Who knows with Spurs? But there's no sign of Kulu, no sign of Maddison. Other than that, who is it that's coming back? What difference does Bergvall make? Doesn't score, doesn't assist. What difference does he actually make? Not having a go at him, just saying. Romero comes back, Van de Ven's out. So, and this as well, absolutely, my man, absolutely. Then you've got the players coming back from injury have to get back into the swing of things. And this is the problem. This is the problem, right? Even with players coming back, the 3 that are needed to change this around, only one of them looks like he's going to play this season, and that is Kudus. The other 2, by the way, let me put this really clear. When I talk about Kulu, by the way, I've never been someone who's gone, oh my God, he's amazing. He's a good player. But compared to what we're playing now, he will look amazing, won't he? compared to the Matisse Tells and the Solankis and the Richarlisons and the Mwanis. And this is a real issue, right? And we've hit new lows. We're going to talk about the pros and cons in a minute for Sherwood and the pros and cons for Redknapp and whoever. But you got Lincoln City fans, right? Lincoln, who are now top of League One, and they are flying, by the way. They're like 14, 13 points clear of third, so they're up. Lincoln City fans now are singing Tottenham away, ole, ole. As in, we're going to be playing Tottenham. For anyone that didn't think this is real, this is very real. Right now, we look the worst team in the league. And that is after having a transfer window in which we could have bought forwards and chose not to. That is after sacking a manager and a manager back, and we are the worst team in the league. Now, this is a good point. Big up to my man, Andy. How you doing, bro? Hope you're well. He said, Redknapp and Sherwood may have worked with 12 games to go. Too late now. Now, in essence, I agree. It's not too late in the fact that we're 1 point above relegation. But is there enough time mentally to change things around? Now, what happens if we go to Atletico Madrid Tuesday night and get absolutely thumped? What happens for the players' confidence that is already at rock bottom? What happens? So they go to Liverpool off the back of being battered in Atleti. Okay. Then you get battered by Liverpool. Now you've got 8 games to go to save your bacon. And then the very next game after Liverpool is Atletico again. So what do you do from it? Where do we possibly go from here? And agreed, Rob. But right now, we're not even picking up the odd draw. Like, the draw to Burnley, the draw to City, the draw to Brentford. Like, we're not even picking up the odd point. We're getting spanked by everyone. Sure, but the board didn't do either, did they? This is the problem, John. The board didn't act. As I said in January, it don't matter who your manager is. When you're struggling, you need to add players. Maybe so. And we missed that opportunity massively, didn't we? We missed that opportunity massively. You think about it. How many of those fans that were telling you, hang on, Southampton are through it. Southampton are through on goal. Oh, mate. Oh, if anyone's watching the Fulham Southampton game, oh, mate. Got to be 1-0. I wonder if anyone would like to recant their opinion that they wouldn't have wanted Akliouche or Paqueta or Lookman or Savio, who I watched rip up Newcastle last night, but not good enough for Spurs. Remember that? I wonder how many of us would change our minds on that now. Moussa Diaby was offered to us on loan. John Duran was offered to us on loan. And this club said no. This club said no. And my man Philly always says it. Those that don't see must feel. But still, many are not seeing. Still, we will get to transfer windows. We will be linked with players. And we will still, as a club and a fan base, we will poo-poo the idea of these players. I'm sitting in January going, Akliouche is a quality little footballer. And ain't not good enough for us. He's only in France. And you're like, sorry, are we actually watching our players before we're saying no to these other footballers? Somerville, nah, I wouldn't want him. Okay. No to Somerville. No to Akliouche. People didn't want Rashford. By the way, this is not fans. This is the club and the fan base, right? People didn't want Rashford. Didn't want Littleman. Didn't want Akliouche. Didn't want Grealish. Those that don't see must feel. And at the moment, it feels like the relegation is where we're going to feel. It's so frustrating that there was a January window there. And every topic was Frank in or out. Fair enough. Where the main topic should have been, forget who the manager is right now. Where are the reinforcements? Where are the signings? So, that's been. It's done. We can't do anything. This is what we've got. This is the players. This is the manager. This is what we've got. How does this manager get the best out of these players? Whatever you or I think the best means, how do we get the best out of them? For me, I'm going to ask a question. Now, I don't know the answers. I was thinking about this morning. Maybe one of you will tell me. When was the last game Spurs won playing free at the back? I can't remember. Just a thought. It's just a thought. Have we won any games this year playing free at the back? I don't think we have. I genuinely, but what are we doing? We're continuing to play free at the back. Why? It does not work for us. We don't have the personnel for it. Why are we doing it? Now, that's a question for the managers, right? I'm just trying to think of games we've played it this year. I know, obviously, we played it against Arsenal, we got smashed. We played it against Arsenal twice. We played it against Palace the other night. We played it against PSG in the Super Cup, didn't win that. So, is there not a call for, I'm just putting out there, bringing in a back three manager? People going, this suits our squad. I don't think it does. People have been crying and screaming for a back three all year. We don't have the players for it. And then you've got to laugh, guys. I mean, if you don't laugh, you cry. We go to the back three on Thursday night. Pedro Porro's back in the team. And he's a right-sided centre-half. And you think, we haven't even put the right wing-back in right wing-back. And when things like that happen, you start to go, this season's got relegation written on it, hasn't it? And Destiny, dude, mate, you're so wide of the mark. This is the problem right here. He's not been talking crap about us. He's been telling the truth about us. He's been telling the truth. Again, fans don't want the truth. Look how scared we are of the truth. Oh, he's been talking crap about my club. Good. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Be honest. What else? If anyone is saying nice things about Tottenham right now in the media, then they're lying to you, aren't they? Guys, we've got to wake up. We've got to wake up to the truth. Now, I didn't really have a problem with Tim Sherwood when he was here the first time. I think that he was dealt a bit of a rough hand. Got a 50% win rate. But, see, Mitch, now this is the difference between perception and reality. If you listen to what Michael Dawson said yesterday, Michael Dawson said that Tim Sherwood was the exact opposite with the players to what you're saying. Michael Dawson said when he went into the dressing room, he was completely different and he put his arm around people. So this is, again, we've got to be very careful what we think a manager is versus what they are. Oh, Destiny, yeah, but dude, you're always upset about something. Who cares? He said he wanted the job because he loves the club and he wanted to help. He's not been proven wrong either, has he? He's not been proven wrong, Destiny. Look, our fans are way too sentimental. Oh, so-and-so said hurty words about my football club. Come on. Come on. Some fans need that reality. They need that check. They need that check. And I don't watch any of these pundits at the moment and go, I can't believe you're saying that about Spurs. They're all spot on. It's a shambles. It's a mess. Now, you've got Sherwood, who said yesterday, on Sky Sports, I was watching Gillette Soccer Saturday, if it's still sponsored by Gillette, I think it is. And he said, they said to him, if the phone rings, will you take it? And he said, I can't not. I think his words were, I can't not, or how could you not? Now, people talking about Sherwood. People talking, but again, Destiny, you're wrong. He's not being bitter. He was right. He said, didn't he? This is not the right appointment. Many said it at the time. I didn't say anything about it. Many said it, right? But again, you're hurt because you're a Spurs fan. You don't have the ability to take off your Spurs hat and see the truth. You're upset because somebody's told you the truth. Now, Tim Sherwood, if he comes in, what does he do different? He said what he'd do different yesterday. He said what he'd do different before the Palace game. He said, didn't he, in as many words, he said, square pegs, square holes. Back to basics. He says how we feel. Back to basics. Square pegs, square holes. And he said, give these players the best fighting chance possible. He said, stop playing players in positions they do not play. He said, Porro is not a right centre half. Sosa is a left back, not a wing back, right? He said, Archie Gray is not a right wing back. Put players in their positions. Now, I'm not sitting, I'm just saying what he said he'd do. What would Redknapp do? He would put players in their position. The guy we have right now, this is a lot of the people that have a problem with him, is he's treating it like an experiment when we don't have the time to experiment. And that's the problem, right? I think we all thought the moment he came in, all right, just go back to basics. You think in the first game against Arsenal, be compact, 4 at the back. No, he's gone straight to his favoured back three without having a back three. Paulinho went in there. Then when he played back three the other night, Porro's at right centre half. And you're just thinking to yourself, what are you doing? What are you doing? And for me, first and foremost, this could be the most redundant conversation of all time because this manager's not been sacked. 1 second, sorry. But how long do they leave it? I don't know. Now, look at it from an ownership point of view. Right? Look at it from an ownership point of view. They'll have to turn around and go, we got it wrong. Again. We fucked up. Again. So what's more important to them? Is it the saviour of Tottenham or is it ego? What if we get absolutely pumped at Liverpool and he's 4 for 4 in terms of Premier League defeats? At the moment, Spurs are like in a maze. You know when you're in a maze and you can't get out and you're thinking every single turning Spurs come to, they pick the wrong choice. Dead end, dead end, dead end. They can't ever seem to get this right. They got the summer terribly wrong. They got January terribly wrong. They got the timing of the Frank sacking terribly wrong. They've got the Tudor appointment terribly wrong. So what's the chances that now they suddenly get it very right? Now, this could all be redundant. Igor Tudor might beat Liverpool and Forest back to back and we all go, whoa. But in your heart of hearts, who truly believes Spurs are going to take 6 points from the next 2 games? Like, does anyone believe that? And that's the problem, right? I don't think anyone believes it because we're not capable of it. The problem is now as well is you can change the formation for away at Anfield, but that's a game in all likelihood you're going to lose. But what we want to see, right, is that you're in the game. Fulham, we're out the game by half time. Palace, we're out the game by half time. We're out of these games. We're not in the games. We're not fighting till the end. You watched Leeds the other night. They lost 1-0, but they're in it. They're fighting. They're battling. The hope that they could still get a point was there. Forest against City. They're battling. They're fighting. It looked like they could get something, and they did. Spurs are dead and buried before the second half's kickoff. Now, this is, if I'm not wrong, this is a graph, Tottenham points per game in the Premier League era. Look at the rapid decline. Look at that rapid decline. And again, when I say this is the worst Spurs team I've seen and people go, oh, you're being dramatic, it's never, ever been this low. Look at it. People don't want to believe it. People want to tell you it's different. Look at that. Look at that. That decline is sharp. This is like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think what this is like. This is like, you know, when you're on a roller coaster, you get right to the top and then it's boom. Look at that. Look at the point per game average the last 2 seasons. One. Now, I know that's quite small, but on the left-hand side, can you see that? The points per game per season. There's been some bad years where it's at like 1.07. I think that's what, in the 93, 94, sorry, the 93, 94 season. But since then, look at that decline. And again, the reason why I put things like this up is because I'm always told I'm negative. I'm always told the players are better than we. Well, they're not. They're not. For 2 years straight, we have averaged 1 point per game. This is not coincidence. The losing mentality is there. It's embedded. It's been embedded deep into Tottenham. Sure. But that's when you're talking about having the full squad. That's the difference. When fans make predictions at the beginning of seasons, you don't predict with having so many injuries, right? And you predict with, okay, because we might buy in January, right? But look at it. The slide is alarming. The slide is alarming. Fans don't want the truth, but look at it. Look at that rapid decline. Now, a lot of that rapid decline has coincided, hasn't it, without Kane, without Son. It's not, that's not rocket science, right? That's not rocket science. But again, let's bury our head in the sands. Let's just pretend that this doesn't mean anything. Let's pretend that this data is fake. Look at it. It was all Ange. It was all Frank. It's now all Tudor. This coincides, doesn't it? If you look at that graph, look when the points have been at their highest are with Kane and Son, and look at when they're at their lowest without Kane and Son. The data does not lie. And again, you've got people that just say, Frank set us back years. Again, this data is showing you it's been heading this way for years. But no, let's just make it up. Because people can't seem to use this. They don't want to use this. I'm pointing at my forehead, by the way. You can show people all the data, all the evidence. They don't want to get there. They don't want to get there because the truth is scary. They don't get it. If you keep buying poor players, your team ends up being poor. Not rocket science. This is not rocket science. So it doesn't coincide without losing two of the best strikers in the Premier League era, no? So it doesn't coincide with us having no top attackers, no ball-playing midfielder, hardly any creators. No? Why last year did Brentford manage something like, I don't know, 65 goals or whatever Brentford scored last year? Why? Let's have a look how many goals Brentford scored last year, right? Brentford scored 66 goals last year. Brentford last year scored more goals than Chelsea. 3 less than Arsenal. But we don't score goals because of Frank. Maybe it's the players. And mate, if you truly believe these players are on the level of Son and Kane, then mate, please go and watch another channel. This is absolutely crazy. And again, this is what I mean, guys and girls. This is where this whole YouTube football thing becomes absolutely redundant. The data's there, the evidence there, for the points, for the players that we saw. We don't want it. Tim Sherwood says some things about Spurs and they're not very nice. Oh, I hate him. Why don't we want the truth? See, again, and then you get dickheads that can only say this in a proper team with a proper setup. Yes, there's no setup. What aren't you getting? What are people not understanding? I'm. Who is looking at like the 11 that played the other night and going, this will win? This will win? Like, what? Marios, I'm getting rid of you, mate. Sorry, you've shown a lot of times now you don't understand football. Sorry, mate. I can't do it. Your stupidity knows no bounds. I'm going to let everyone read this to make you realize how dumb this comment is. Read this back in your own mind to see how stupid this is. But again, notice what we're doing. People like Steve-O that are very thick, really stupid people. People like that can't actually work out through the evidence what's happened over the years. They can't do it. So they blame one thing, Gallagher. It's got nothing to do with Conor Gallagher. He's been here for about a month and a half. This has been going on for years, but it's Conor Gallagher's fault. This isn't Gray's fault. This isn't Tell's fault or Mawan. This is what happens. When you build a team or when you put a squad together, with no plan, with no process, with no structure, with no philosophy. You don't buy the right pieces of the puzzle for the jigsaw. This is what happens. But we can't see it. So many people, it doesn't matter what they watch, they're refusing to believe it. You go and ask any other fan base about our squad, they don't rate it. But we got fans going, oh, it's a good squad. We should. Is it? Maybe when Maddison's playing and Kudus is on the right, yeah. But how are we not all upset that it's come to this? Instead, we want to blame, like the people that come onto my show and go, you rate Gallagher. Well, yeah, did you see him for Chelsea when they had a proper 11 built? He was good. If we build a proper 11, we get that as well. Same with a few of the other players. Dude, are you thick as shit? Steve-O, I'd love you to come on because this makes no sense. You apply that logic to players that you have seen be good before in good setups. I've seen Gallagher good in a good Chelsea setup. Not rocket science. Not rocket science. I don't know what this fascination is with the player that's come in and played 290 minutes in a month. And this now is the problem. Dylan, yeah, these people can't quite, they can't quite work it out, Dylan. Let's blame the player that's been here and I think he's played like 7 games, or 6, 7 games. It's mad, isn't it? You know, I try and bring evidence to the table. I'm trying to show you graphs and data and facts. And then you got fans like Marios going, I don't understand the Kane and Son excuse. Sorry, what excuse? What, that you lose 2 of the best strikers we've ever had and we wonder why we're not very good at scoring goals? Like, it doesn't make sense. And as I said, my man Philly, some of these fans, they deserve what they're getting because they're not understanding it. People like Steve-O deserve it because they would rather attack because of one comment about Conor Gallagher than actually let sink in what's happening at the football club. They deserve this. They deserve this. Sorry if that offends you. Sorry if that upsets people. If Spurs do not build a team moving forward, this will keep happening. Down the years when we've been at our best, we've not played everybody out of position. We've not had wingers or goal scorers. We've had ball-playing midfielders. Harry had one. Poch had one. This is not rocket science. Martin Jol had one. Again, just thick as shit. He said in the interview he wanted to come back to England to be with his family. This is not... Fans like Steve-O, unfortunately, right, you could tell, never spent a day in his life at a professional football club, spoke to a proper coach or a proper man. They don't understand. They don't understand how it works. There will be players you take out of the shit show, drop them into a well-organised team, they suddenly look good. Look at McTominay at Napoli, for example. Just as an example. But again, if people think that the issue here at this club is Conor Gallagher, the issue isn't one player. The issue isn't one man. And again, Conor Gallagher, the last 2 games has played on the right wing. People are going, oh, he was shit. He's a central midfielder, box to box. Exactly. See again, just it doesn't. Again, people just say stupid stuff. This is the type of stuff that fans say that don't seem to realise the footballers are human as well. They don't understand. No, sure, Andy. I'm just using that point for that guy because they don't get it. It doesn't matter that Conor Gallagher does an interview and says, look, I wanted to come home. I wanted, he said, didn't he? His agent was talking to, he wanted to come home. He wanted to come back to London, but just a lie. Right. And exactly. See, other fan bases see the stupid shit we say. Right. Other fan bases see the stupid shit we say, and then we look silly having said it. Coming in?
Yeah, why not?
Doing something in the
No. I just thought, why not? You're wearing yellow, so I thought I'd put my yellow Spain kit on. Look, I just overheard a little bit just then. Like I think people need to wake up and realise what's going on at this football club. Like, I just find it really, really perplexing at this stage. Like, we can blame individuals. I think if we're going to start blaming individuals, what's the point at this stage? Look, we can point scorers to who's our favourites, who's our problems.
Can I just say, Perchy, sorry, just quickly. So this person, as I said to you, my mate works for Chelsea Football Club, right? And is friends with Gallagher and the family. And he said the same thing. He said, Conor wants to come home. And again, this is the thing. See, when people say stupid stuff without using their brain, think about it, right? Conor Gallagher, why did Pochettino make him captain if he's so shit? Why did he play every minute of every game when Chelsea were the best team, the second best team in the country for the last 28 games? Why did Unai Emery want to sign Conor Gallagher if he is shit? Right?
I just find
it's madness.
But I think with the Conor Gallagher conversation, right? I think this is ridiculous, right? Because look, we all knew that Unai Emery wanted him at Villa. We now think that all of a sudden, if he went to Villa, they're going to just start losing week in, week out. If we're having that simplistic mindset, like look, this is the problem. We're at this position where we're blaming individuals. This is not one person's fault. But the problem, do you know what happens is I use the analogy of we're complaining at the moment of the tap breaking whilst the roof is flown off the house. Like, there's bigger problems at this football club than any individual, any specific, right? Big up, Rain Man. But do you get what I mean? Like, I think if we're going to start going, oh, it's this person's fault, it's almost everything that makes this club hilarious. It's almost why we get away, by the way, people at this football club get away with stuff. Because we all have infighting about Conor Gallagher, infighting about insert manager, internal arguments about should we play a back three or a back four. We could play a back 11 at this stage and still concede goals. Let's try and think about the bigger problems than worrying about individuals. It's not an individual's fault at this football club. It is a problem that is systemic, that we have to wake up and smell the coffee. Blame Conor Gallagher all you want. We all know on this panel, and we know in the chat, he will go to a bigger football club than Tottenham at the end of the window, if not a level par in that sense. It's irrelevant. Conor Gallagher is irrelevant in this conversation.
Do you know what?
Sorry for the rant.
I find funny, Rain? Do you know what I find truly funny? By the way, the front door's going to go in a minute, I think. Not this second, but I think it is. Oh, hang on, let me give him somebody. Sorry, I was just talking to my wife. I sometimes forget that I'm live. Yeah. Do you know what I find really, truly funny about all of this? Is we have the inability to see the bigger picture as a fan base, no matter how far we go into this, right? Like those that are going, right, okay, do you want to see? Okay, right. So again, okay, Dylan, I'll tell you what. Right, let's have a look, shall we, at how shit Conor Gallagher was for Chelsea. Let's see. This is how shit Conor Gallagher is as a footballer, right? And as I said, to this guy, right? As I said, when you're saying, I think I know better, I don't. I just spoke to a friend of Conor Gallagher's that said he wanted to come back to England. He wanted to try moving away. He wanted to try something. He has. He's come back. For people going, why wasn't he playing for Atletico? He's played something like 77 games in 18 months. So like when people are going, he didn't get a game, he absolutely got a game. But
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right, look at this. So this was Conor Gallagher, by the way, in his last season at Chelsea. Right, look how shit he is, guys.
Shit. It's crap.
Absolutely crap. Look at it. Look at this.
Sorry,
tackles one.
Sorry,
Hang on, let me show these graphs. Let me show these graphs. Let me show these graphs, right? He's first for everything other than chances created, where he's second, right? And assists, sorry. Right? Now, have a look at Atletico. Right? Played 2,297 minutes. We're saying he never played. Right? Now, have a look at this. This in his last season in the Premier League, only 5 players were better at receiving the ball than he was. Look who he's above. He's above Declan Rice. He's above Bernardo Silva. Look at the players he's below. Rodri, Odegaard, Foden, right? Then have a look at this. In that season, goal contributions, 11 for a box-to-box midfielder. Final third passes, but he can't pass. This is why when people just say, he's shit, go and do your homework. It is not difficult to find out the data that exists.
Do you know what I find funny?
No. You're not getting it, are you? You're simply not.
Do you know what?
Good.
Do you know what the comment I've just seen really makes me laugh? And I have power. I'll pin it. I don't care. This one's funny. This is the best comment of the day. What one Chelsea fan says that they wanted Gallagher sold means that we have to live by it. I hear Spurs fans tell me that Matisse Tell is a great football player. If that's the case, does that mean that all Spurs? Do you? If, oh my day! This is mental.
Perchy, it's categorically not true. I went and got my hair cut right the day after they announced that Gallagher was coming, and my barber is a massive Chelsea season ticket holder, and he was like, "I'm gutted." He's like, "I'm absolutely gutted." So, do you know there were people who were? Do you know we're protesting this weekend? I had no idea that they were protesting against Blue Lake. I had no idea. And he said, "And do you know what? For a lot of those fans, including me, what turned us was because they sold Conor Gallagher." That's what he said to me.
Yeah, a lot of them did because he was their captain at the time. They got rid of him because of PSR, and they did it. By the way, it wasn't just Conor Gallagher. There was a few others in that remit. But I'll be honest, I think it's redundant. If we genuinely think that we're going to put all this on Conor Gallagher, the problems at this football club, it is the most redundant conversation ever. Why are we not looking at the biggest problem? We're basically looking at a creaking leg of a chair whilst someone's just burgled our whole place. It's what is going on here?
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's called immaturity, right? As babies, we only know one thing: what we want, right? And we're looked after by everybody around us. So the only thing we really understand is ourselves. And when you grow up and you mature, you start to learn that there's other people in the world, and then you grow and mature, and you learn that working as a team, you need other people around you to actually succeed and to get places.
Mate,
unfortunately, one second. Unfortunately, some people never ever really get past the idea that it's only one person that counts. They haven't worked out that it needs 11 people on a football pitch. All they're interested in is one single person, because that's in their brains. That's all they can actually focus on is one single person.
Rain, this fella here, by the way, one of Savva's mates on here, by the way, he is one of Savva's mates. I'll bring it up. What does capping for Gallagher mean? What does that mean, first of all? We're in dire straits.
Terminology. I have no idea.
Capping for Gallagher, I don't know what it means. So explain that one. Honestly,
look what we do.
Get out. We're done. We don't know a good football player anymore. We don't know a good football player. Like, what are we doing? What does capping mean? I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm too old for this shit.
But do you know the funny thing, right?
What is going on?
But you can't even have a conversation about a player now without these really uneducated idiots on the internet that think that it's dying on a hill. What hill is anyone dying on? Like, all I've said is this. If Spurs put a proper team together with a proper philosophy, Conor Gallagher will be a good addition to that team. I have never, ever said, oh, my God, he's the best player at Spurs. Oh, my God, he's amazing. But we can't just seem to have a normal...
It's crazy.
We can't seem to have a normal conversation about it. Like, look at this, right? 1 second. No, but again, how silly are these people? Dude, Conor Gallagher has been dropped in to an absolute shit show of a team that hasn't won a game for 11, is in a relegation battle, changed managers. He's been played on the right wing.
This is crazy.
Like, what are we not getting, right? You watch. If he goes to another club in the summer and they have a settled team, actually, I'll take this back. What did Poch say when Spurs bought him back? Every club needs a Conor Gallagher. Poch made him captain. And by the way, for people saying in that year that Chelsea weren't good, they had the polar opposite season to Spurs. We were brilliant for 10 games. They were awful. Then for the last 28 games of the season, Chelsea were like second in the third in the form table. They went like that. They flew. And Gallagher was a big part of that. But again, he was in a settled team. Gallagher, Caicedo, Fernandes. Like, it's just all so silly how we can't... we just don't get it. By the way, people are saying we can get better than Gallagher. Sure. But you've got to go and get that and Gallagher. This is, I just don't get it.
Then why were Aston Villa almost 99% signing him until we got him on the last minute? What are you talking about? You're just making shit up at this. What?
Honestly,
do
you know what, Perchy? Do you know what? As I said, right, I'm lucky enough that I've worked in the game, right? I've got a lot of friends who work in scouting and coaching and agents. And when I speak to them away from this arena, right, they laugh at how dumb fans are in general. No, I know that sounds harsh, but they laugh at it because the things that fans come on and say, these people just going, yeah, these people don't know football. They don't know football. They don't understand it. Like people lying, going, if Gallagher's that good, why did Chelsea get rid? Well, Chelsea got rid of him for PSR and financial reasons. Pochettino threw his toys out the pram because he didn't want to lose his captain, and his teammates didn't want it. But we don't want that. We don't want that. You know why we don't want that, lads? Because that's the real world common sense. We don't want that. We want to sit in a chat and go, shit, player shit. He only joined for the money. Sorry, you don't know these players. Stop pretending that you know. Stop pretending. You know what Benji told me? Mbuemo's a mercenary. Based on what? Like, based on what?
Can I ask a question?
I'm
sorry
so
to jump in there.
baffled with football fans. I'm so confused.
I'm hearing. I like reading the chat. It's quite interesting. So I hear people going, Spurs can get better than Conor Gallagher. Can someone name me a realistic transfer Spurs get that is on the level, if not better, than Conor Gallagher right this second? I'm still shocked we got a hold of him, by the way, like in the mess that we're in. But can someone? Here's a serious point though. Which midfield?
I think he's probably shocked that we got hold of him, considering the mess that we're in. To be honest,
but do you get my point though? Everyone goes, we can get better. Who? Name me players realistically. So you put Lookman. Lookman's not a central midfielder.
Yeah, we needed Lookman as well. We agree with Lookman.
No. I'm talking.
We needed Lookman as well. He's a +1.
I know. I agree. I agree.
But by the way, no one ever said Gallagher was like everyone's got to stop this, right? This is the guy that's been here. Him and Sosa have been here for a month, right? They've been at the football club for little over 5 weeks, right? And people are going, you wanted him. I'll tell you what, isn't it funny? When people say you wanted him, right? Isn't it funny? No one mentions all the other players I wanted Spurs to buy in January and the summer, like Lookman, like Savio, like Gibbs White, like Eze, like Morgan Rogers, like Akliouche, right? Like John Duran on loan. Isn't it funny? We don't mention those players. But here's the thing, guys. We're going to do with him what we do with everyone else. Have a look. I remember when Sander Berg was available. And I remember a few people go, God, that would be sensible. Good player. Our fans say things like, not a needle mover. No, but a very sensible player. No, not good enough. Now, when people watch Berg play, they go, he's a good player. Yes, he is. But he's also in a settled Fulham system.
Do you know what I find really, really funny, right? The same people going on about Conor Gallagher's not good enough for Tottenham are the same people that want Pochettino to sign. And the one player Pochettino at Chelsea said was, my first name on the team sheet was Conor Gallagher. Do you know what I find funny? The same people, by the way, in this chat, that are saying it, let's just say hypothetically we stay up and we do appoint Pochettino. He then makes him captain. Everyone that is sitting there going, he's crap, he's away. Why have we got him? I'll be sitting there going, oh my God, I love Gallagher. Pochettino has turned him into a great player. It will be.
Poch will get the credit for making him good, even though he's good anyway.
Exactly.
Do you know the funny thing, right, guys? This is my funny thing. Forget Gallagher for the moment. Forget Gallagher. My funny thing is, if I go back through all the years I've done this, right? All the years I've done this. If I pulled up every comment on every show from people in the chat that have belittled better footballers than what we've got, right?
Yeah.
And then if I was to take all those players and then show them the squad we've got now, 5-6 years later, I'll go, you deserve this.
Yeah.
You deserve this squad because you belittle every player. Paqueta wouldn't want him. Lookman, he's not good. Akliouche, but it's a farmers league. Oh, Angelo Stiller, he's only done it in Germany. We deserve this. Not all of us, but as a collective, because we're not understanding, this isn't about Sosa. I feel sorry for Sosa, by the way. Some 19-year-old kid should not be dropped into this absolute shambolic mess. Right? But we'll do it again in the summer. We'll do it again in the summer. In January. Somerville's not good enough for Spurs. Really? Somerville will be our best player right now. But he's not good enough.
I think there's going to be a rude awakening if we genuinely do get relegated. I think people will need to wake up big time.
Conor Gallagher's been playing right wing. What do you mean? Sorry, and why all of a sudden is Archie Gray suddenly... He had a half-decent game against Palace, and suddenly now it's Gray's... Dude, Conor Gallagher will be our best midfielder in the right scenario in terms of you will get what you get from him every game. You're not listening, Steve-O. Right?
I think the arrogance in the chat as well. People go in Gallagher's Palace level. Palace are better than us right now. What are we doing here? I genuinely think people live in this alternative reality that we're in the top 6 and we're comfortable. We've got about 60 70 points and everything's relaxing. I don't think people realise it right now.
Dude, listen, by the way, if you keep talking like this, you'll just get blocked. Mate, believe what you want. Those who know me know where I've worked. And I'm not even claiming to know Conor Gallagher. I'm speaking to people who are friends of his family. Conor Gallagher said it himself in an interview, but we don't want that. It doesn't matter that it came out of Gallagher's mouth. They said, right? Said when he left, the players were so pissed off that Gallagher left Chelsea. Yeah. The coaches were, the players were. Pochettino was absolutely livid. But bearing in mind, LEJ, you're right. Poch is wrong. Simeone's wrong. Frank is wrong. Unai Emery, they're all wrong. And you know Conor Gallagher only did it, by the way, he's not on 200 grand a week. You know that he only did it for 200 grand a week because you know Conor Gallagher.
And Leisure, let's have a look at where Villa are in the league. And they wanted Conor Gallagher. Yeah. They wanted to bring Villa wanted to bring Conor Gallagher in. Where are they in the league? And you know what? They haven't got bad central midfielders, you know. They wanted to add another good central midfielder to their roster. So I'm not sure your point. I'm not sure you've made the point that you wanted to, mate. To be, I'm brutally honest.
Again, look,
I think
look,
it's kind of smacked you in the face.
But you look, Rain, Akliouche, not. I watched him play the other night against PSG. That boy, we watched him. We watched him rip us to pieces, right? We watched him rip us to pieces. Not good enough for top. As I said, people like Iris, they deserve what you've got right now. They deserve it. They don't know a good player.
Oh, I genuinely, I stand by it. I genuinely think that people don't realise the mess that we're in. Like, I just find it crazy. I heard someone just put in the chat, I heard Cherky wasn't physical enough for the Premier League. He looks unbelievable. I heard it about Bernardo Silva when he joined Man City. Like, I just think we're in this. I just think it's nuts at this stage. How can we be this bad and then have the arrogance to look down on players? I find it. I'm at this stage where I think it's either people doing it on purpose in the chat, or you're either doing it on purpose, or you don't know the problems we're in. I don't. Either way, this is mental.
So the thing is, you got people in their day-to-day lives, if they actually thought about it, would absolutely understand. How often, it doesn't matter whether you work on a building site, it doesn't matter whether you work in an office. You know that if you know that it takes a team to deliver something. It takes. So if Johnny over there, right? If Johnny over there who gives you something, and he might. In our sense, he might be a left winger, right? If he's underperforming or if he's just completely incapable of doing that job, it makes your job a lot harder. Man, yeah. And all of a sudden, people are going to you and they're going, "Why aren't you delivering?" And you're like, "I'm getting crap from this guy over on the left-hand side over here. He ain't got a clue what he's doing." And every time I give him stuff, he just fumbles it and he messes it up. And everything I get from him is a complete and utter mess. And I'm constantly clearing up his crap, right? Football's no different. Football's no different. If you're a central midfielder and you've got somebody on the left-hand side who's a complete and utter muppet, do you know what? All of a sudden you start looking a little bit crap. And that's the biggest problem with Spurs is we haven't been hiring good players across the whole squad.
But do you know
what's funny, Rain, we're not dropping people into a settled team. This is the problem, that people like Steve-O in the chat who don't understand football, you have good players, but if they're at shit clubs and it's all a mess, it doesn't work, right? As I said, when McTominay came out of the shit show that was Man United, went into a well-settled Conte team in Napoli, what happened? He was player of the year, right? Because you take him out of a poor environment, you put him into a good team. Right now, if Spurs were dropping Conor Gallagher into a team where there was a number 6 behind him and a number 10 in front of him, right? Or a ball-playing midfielder, you go, yeah, that's how you get the best out of Conor Gallagher. In the midfield three, Conor Gallagher is your box-to-box midfielder. So far, in his 7 or 8 appearances for Spurs, I've seen him play right wing back, right wing twice. I've seen him in the number 10. I've seen him in the number 8. And you're like, surely these fans understand players need a run of games in their right position in a settled team. Now, let's take this one further, Rain. Forget Gallagher as a player. This is all the players.
Yeah.
Every week, we have got a different formation, a different style, a different midfield pairing, a different centre-half pairing, 2 different wing-backs, 2 different wingers, a different striker. And if you keep doing that, none of these players can get into any kind of fluid pattern. Now, that's all the players. Whether I rate them or not, I can't expect Archie Gray to have a run of games when he's played right wing back one week, left back the next week, centre mid the week after. This is not rocket rain. For me, this is not rocket science. And this is why when people are going, that's signing shit, why are none of our players playing well? Why are none of them playing well? Because we are not settled. We don't have a settled team. If you look right now, right? Look at a team that are quite settled. I'm not even going to go to a top team. Look at Everton, right? Why are Everton in decent form and fighting for Europe? Settled team. Doesn't matter whether you rate them, Rain. Doesn't matter whether you like their players. Everyone's playing in the right position, right? They know their job and they are a unit. Spurs
and they know what their mates are going to do. They've got a pretty fair idea what their mate on the left hand. They know that they can get in the box to try and get on the end of a cross because they know, left winger is going to go down and cross it in. They know exactly. They've got a pretty good idea what they're going to do. They've done it before.
I think. Do you know what? I think
you've when we're talking about if a player's that good, he will stand out. But the problem is not if the player is being dropped into a new team in a shambolic setup, right? You can't just drop footballers into a mess and say, stand out. It's not how football works. Now, if you're Ledley King and you've been at Spurs for years and you're the captain and the best player, because your quality, you stand out. But Xavi Simons, not going to stand out. 1 week he's left wing. 1 week he's left wide forward. Next week he's in the number 10. 1 week he's playing in a 3-5-2. Next week he's in a 4-4-2. And again, this is where people, please go and watch some podcasts on coaching and fluidity. And please.
Look,
this is basics.
I'll go full circle on it, right? If this was... We can blame Conor Gallagher all we want. It doesn't solve the problem, right? There's no question marks when it comes to the manager putting them. Call it what it is, by the way. If Thomas Frank had played a Conor Gallagher at right wing, he would have got pelters. We wouldn't be going, oh, Gallagher's not very good. Gallagher's not good enough. We'd be going, why the fuck is our manager playing Conor Gallagher right? Why the fuck is our manager playing Pedro Porro at centre back? Like, where is this conversation, by the way? Right. Where is this conversation, right?
But that conversation, Perchy, that conversation requires some of these people who don't get the details to think outside the box. It's easier to turn up and go, he's shit. It's easy to say that. He's shit. Brilliant. But now why? Like, why was Pedro Porro shit against Palace? He's not
he's not centre-half.
Right.
He's not centre-half. Mental.
Now, why not? Crazy idea, Rain. Why not in a wing-back formation, why not play the right wing-back Pedro Porro in the right wing-back spot? Crazy idea, I know, but
crazy, right? Crazy, that one. But look, regardless, I just think, I'm not blaming any individual. I think this is systemic. This is a problem. By the way, even if we don't get relegated this season, it will happen at some point because the decline of this football club is never changing unless something drastic happens, right? I look at, but the irony of it that we're looking not just the micro, not even the micro. We are individually looking at an individual player and going, nah, it's all going wrong because of this. It's got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with it. I just.
Oh my God.
So my answer to Sav's question about why do we play is actually you go back, you look at Tudor, who loves playing 3-4-3, right? And and you look at the way that your players are playing. You know, the way that we're playing 4-2-3-1. You know, we don't have a full squad, but that's what the players are used to playing. You don't then bring in a coach with 10 games to go who's going to want to just change everything.
Yeah,
right. And people and we all want Tudor to play differently to how he's playing. But do you know what? That's not what managers do. What managers do is they have their formations that they like, that they're going to train people to do. They've got training regimes. We should never have signed Tudor. It goes, and it's not Tudor's fault. It's not Tudor's fault. No. It's the people who are hiring Tudor and are just constantly making it so that our club just goes round and round and round.
And the fans are lapping it up again. Like, Rain, this is the problem. The fans are lapping it up again by not blaming what the issue is. Would anyone like to answer this incredibly dumb question?
I'll answer it really simply, this one. They were elite football players. Yeah. I'm not being funny. Harry Kane the Harry Kane at the moment, who is taking Bayern Munich to win, scoring every single week, right? The Heung-min Son that consistently scored every season for us. And I find it insane.
But Percy, this is where we are. This is where we are. This is where we are, right? Kane and Son, at least. So let's look at a season where those two had a great year both together, right? If we look at the Conte season. Now, whatever we thought of the player standard other than Kane and Son and Kulusevski, you had 11 players all playing in their natural position. Whatever you thought about it, you had Sessegnon as a left wing back, right? You had Doherty as a right wing back. Whether you think they're good players is irrelevant. You had 3 centre halves that were centre halves. You had central midfielders, and then you had Kane and Son, who were the elite footballers in the team. What you've got now is no right winger at the club right now fit. No left winger at the football club. Championship level strikers. No ball playing midfielders. Average fullbacks. But why are we not understanding the difference between Kane and Son and players like Xavi Simons and Conor Gallagher? Like these are not that. This is ridiculous.
Kane and Son had also been at the club for 6 or 7 years. Everyone knew exactly who Kane and Son were. Anyone who's playing, and if you think Kane and Son came out of the womb, the players that they are, that and they landed in Tottenham Hotspur, and they weren't instantly amazing at Tottenham Hotspur. Sonny nearly left in the first season because he was struggling. Kane had to fight his way into the team. People think because a player 7 years after being at a club is elite, that means that somebody who joins and has been at the club for 2 weeks should be performing and should be seen to be performing at that same level.
They scored, right? And again, I'll read this out because people like Steve-O are stupid. I'll just call it as it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right? In that season, under Antonio Conte, Kane and Son, between them, got 73 goal contributions, right? Then Kulusevski came in for the last 4 months of the season, February through to May, and got another 14 goal contributions, right?
Yeah.
Steve-O, this isn't rocket science. If players are top players, they are top players, right? We don't have anyone on that level.
But what Kane and Son did for a lot of the managers that came in after the Pochettino era, it almost gave them half a job, right? You almost had to come in at Tottenham and go, make us hard to beat at the back. We've got 2 elite attackers that will get you goals, right? So almost the job was make sure we're solid at the back. And almost Jose, when he came in, almost did that to an extent, right? He had crap players, but he kind of went, do you know what? if I find a way to get that ball to Kane and Son, I'll worry about the back. I'll leave these two to deal with going forward. And we scored loads of goals under Jose, Kane and Son specifically. So you almost had half the job. Now we've got no one going forward that I go, you're getting me 10 goals this season. 10. I'm not even talking 20 anymore. I don't think we're going to finish with a player with more than 10 goals this season. I genuinely don't see it. I think Richarlison is at 8 at the moment, but I don't see him getting 2 more.
Like,
this is nuts. Like, I think we're at a position where,
good God,
what are we doing here anymore? Like, stand by, what are we doing? Like,
you know what, Percy, you know when I say to you, I'm frustrated with YouTube, right? This is why. Because I don't understand the things that we are rowing about. If people cannot see the big picture, right? If people can't see the big picture, for me, all I asked for, going back to the beginning of this conversation, all I asked for was put a team of players out there in their correct position and go back to basics. Get Paulinho in the 6, get Conor Gallagher in the 8, get Porro on the right, get a striker up front. I want Simmons in the 10. Go back to basics, right? And it goes from that to, but you wanted Gallagher. Yes, but I never turn around and said, do you know what Conor Gallagher does in his first 7 or 8 games for Tottenham, playing at right wing? Conor Gallagher's going to say,
do you know what I find though? I think the whole thing is mental, right? I think the whole thing is genuine mental. I look at the midfielders we've got, like, I don't get it, right? Why our midfielders, he hasn't decided, this guy, to go, do you know what? We're going to go into a midfield 3, Gallagher, Paulinho, and another. If it's Sarr, if it's Gray, I don't really give a shit. But go, do you know what? That's my 3. Now I will build this around these 3 central midfielders that will work hard for me. If it's Archie Gray, I don't really mind. I don't think he's great, but he'll work hard for the team. Let's just say it's Paulinho, Gray, and Gallagher. That's his 3 that he said, you 3, I'm going to stick with it. Don't care what people think. I'm sticking with that, and I'll build it around that. But what ends up happening, right, is we're changing. Do you know what's the worst thing about this manager? And again, I'm not blaming him specifically, but I'll have it. No one's settled. No one sticks to one thing. So
No.
if, for example, he went, do you know what? We're going to go 4-3-3 or whatever, 4-3-3, and we're going to sit in tight, work hard in the midfield, and then we'll try it on the counter. We'll try on the counter. We'll get the likes of Simmons if we have to play him out wide. We'll get Mawani on the other wing. We'll have Solanke or Richarlison. Who cares? But we're at a position. Do you know what? I say this all the time. We're in a position.
But again, it's like this. He said, even in centre mid, Dan, name me in the last 8 games that Gallagher's been a part of, where he's played the same midfield partnership with Gallagher in the midfield for 2 games in a row. So mate, this is the point. You can't drop you in for 1 game in centre mid and go, he was crap. Yes. You need, again, this is a settled side. This is basics. Why have Man United picked up since Carrick's gone in there?
Mate.
Settled team. It's the same team every week, right? I'm not saying Gallagher's above criticism. That's not what I'm saying. But Conor Gallagher needs a run of games where you go, right, like Percy said, right, our midfield 3, Paulinho, Gallagher, Simmons. Boom. There it is. That's your 3 for the next 6 games. What will we do? No, Gallagher. Tell you what, go and play on the right wing in a 4-4-2 against Fulham. Okay, Conor Gallagher, you come on against Crystal Palace. Go and play on the right wing of a 4-4-1. Okay, Conor Gallagher against Newcastle. Go and play right wing back. Like, what are we doing here? You need
We're talking about a player that's completed. He's completed 2 games since joining us, and now look. Do you know what's funny, right? Though we're using Conor Gallagher as because he's a big-ish name to an extent that he was expected to come and save us. Gallagher's not that player. What he'll do is he'll go in and pull his sleeves up and go, we'll graft it. But I just think we're now Look, if we want to blame
the problem was not that we signed Conor Gallagher. The problem was that we didn't sign a left winger, a striker, a right winger, a left back. That was the problem.
Yes.
So everyone going, Gallagher isn't saving us. No. The club didn't save us by buying the right players to go with Gallagher. That's it. It's quite simple. It's quite simple. And I do agree. I looking at the title of the going back to the title of the stream, bringing in Tudor was bonkers. It's when they always used to bring Sam back, didn't they, into to save teams from relegation. And do you know what Sam did? He made things simple. He got players, put them in the position that they're comfortable in, and got them just playing very, very simple football. And that helped these simple people, right, deliver what they needed to deliver. And what we've done is we've gone and got somebody who's got a relatively complicated system. You can criticize it all you want, but the drop dead reality is you don't want complicated when you're struggling.
It falls down to the P
you
word,
want it simple.
It falls down to the P word. We have no plan. Basically, what they've done. Do you know what's happened? I bet this is what happened. This is this sort of ideology and what I think's happened. Right? They've sacked Thomas Frank. They've walked into Paratici's office and he's left his paperwork on there. They've gone, who's the first name on that list? Igor Tudor. Igor, look, we need you. Look, we'll pay you X amount of money. Keep us up. There you go. Done. Like, there's no thought into anything that happens at this football club, and we're arguing about the number 22 at our football club. It's crazy. Like, mate, there's no thought.
No one's playing well. No one is playing well, right? No one. And as I said at the beginning of the stream, at the moment, Tudor's going to be in charge, right, for the Atletico game. We play in 48 hours, right? 50 hours, 52 hours, whatever it is, right? He's going to be in charge. All I asked for was, can we please go back to basics? Rain is absolutely right. You don't go into a relegation battle and start going, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have a fullback in the back three, and his job is to shuffle across to the go to a back four, right? And this is what made me laugh. Do you remember when Spurs had a back four this year and Bentancur and Paulinho in the double pivot? And we were hard to beat and we weren't conceding many goals. Everyone complained it was boring. But what do we need now? That's absolutely what we need. We need a double pivot that sit in front of a back four, keep it simple, and then let's try and get it forward. But the other night, he didn't even play Xavi Simons. Now, whatever anyone thinks of Xavi Simons, he is the only creative footballer in that squad right now without Kudus, Kulu, or Maddison. And yet he's on the bench for a must-win game at home. What do you do with that? What do you do with that?
Great point. Do you know the biggest problem, right? And I had this fears, and I said it to you when it happened. I said, look, you can sack Frank, but this is like putting your Premier League status on red or black at the casino. And do you know what the irony is, right? Where people like it or whether they like it or not, and they don't want to admit it because they went full deep on it. Thomas Frank probably have got points out of those games we've just played. Maybe
the harsh reality is, Perchy. If you look at our games before Frank got sacked, we were picking up a point here, a point there. We would all give our right arms for those points right now.
But do you know what it is, Rain? The problem is at the time, people moaned that, we're crap. Like, we'd nick a point, for example. You know, when we drew 2-2 with Burnley, you've gone, oh my God, it's 2-2 against Burnley. I would have taken a 0-0 against Fulham where we were shit, no shots on target. Everyone was so more concerned about XG earlier on in the season. Oh my God, we had 0.07 XG. We were crap. I'll take 0 XG if we're nicking 0-0s somewhere now.
Zero goals at White Hart Lane for the rest of the season. Quite happy.
People looking going, shit, it's all going to pot now.
How many streams were there where people were, this Paulinho Bentancur double pivot, it's not good at home, it's not the Spurs way. If you remember, with the Paulinho Bentancur pivot, we were actually not conceding many goals because those two big, strong, powerful lads in front of the back four helped the defense. Since they came away from that, now this is where I massively judge. This is where I massively judge Frank. For me, what Frank should have done to everyone was basically the middle finger and said, no, this is the best way for me to get points. I'm going to do it. Right? I judge him big time for that. But all of those that said, oh, but, you know, we got to play more attacking at home. Whenever you said to them, cool, with what players in midfield, they couldn't give you a player because you know why? That player don't exist in our squad. Right.
Exactly.
And this is the problem, right? Do I like Paulinho Bentancur as a 2? Not particularly. Is it exciting? No. But it was doing better. If you looked at the beginning of the season, we weren't conceding many goals. We were in games, right? We were in games. We were fighting. It wasn't great to watch, but we were in them. Then we started to try and change, and you started to see these forward players aren't very good. But, hey, it is what it is.
And everyone was losing their junk over the fact that Kudus' form dropped off, and people were going, well, of course it is. He's now being triple marked because teams have worked out we got no left winger, so they don't need to bother about the left hand side, about our left hand side. They can just triple mark because that's what Bournemouth did to us. They can just triple mark. They can just triple mark Kudus, and do you know what? It's actually quite hard to dribble, cross, pass when you got three opposing players who are triangulating around you. It's really, really difficult. So again. People were like, you know, coming down hard on Kudus without actually realising the bigger problem is we all knew we needed a left winger in the summer. And you know what we didn't do? We didn't go and get a left winger. We got Mwani, who, and I got beef with Frank for this, came out and said, oh, we can play left wing. No, we can't. He's not a left winger. He doesn't have the work rate for a left winger. He might be a good in the box striker. He's not a left winger. Zabby has not played left wing in his career. He is an inside forward or a 10. He likes to play that channel. That's where he's played his whole career. He's not. He doesn't have the pace.
Rain, you know why?
Because physicality on the.
And they'll go, oh, this graph showed that he started here, and without watching how Leipzig play. They didn't play with out-and-out wingers. So when people go, he can play on the left wing. No, he's not a left winger. He's a player that wants to go into those pockets, in and around the box, outside that. But mate, listen, Xavi Simons for me, listen, he might come good, he might not. Again, you know what I'd like to see, Rain? I'd like to see a settled team for 10 games where I see Xavi Simons in his position. That's all I want to see. Can we please have a settled team for more than one game? Right? The last 3 games, we don't know. You know, the last 3 games, you get all this news come out. I've heard so-and-so's playing here today, so-and-so's playing there. Then when the game starts, you're going, what? Like, who? Why? Like, we all sit there before the game, right? Right? But I genuinely don't think enough people, though, watch football. As I said, when Xavi Simons was bought, anyone who thinks this guy was bought as the left winger is absolutely off their rocker. This guy was bought because James Maddison got an ACL, right? If that's not obvious to Spurs fans, I don't know what is. I don't want to see Xavi Simons on the left wing. I don't want to see him in a 4-4-2. I want to see Xavi Simons in the 10, right, with 2 wingers either side of him. What do? We've got no wingers. Right now, you've got no wingers. Matisse Tell said himself he's a forward. He's going out on the left because he's left-footed, right? Honestly, you can't make this up. And this is why, no matter what I think of players, whether I rate a player or not, guys, none of this is one player's fault. None of this is one signing's fault. This is what happens when you buy badly with no plan. This is what happens. There are good players scattered around our team that if you took them out and dropped them somewhere else, you're going to see them do well. Not amazing, not world-class, but they're going to do well. Sosa was left wing back last game. The game before, Gray was left back in a 4. The game before, it was someone as the left wing back against Arsenal. I can't even remember, right? Porro has been right back in 4-4-2. Spence. Porro, right back in a 4-4-2 against Fulham. Right-sided centre-half in a 3 against Palace. How are we not getting this? No, it's not a fair question, Dan. Sorry, you think Xavi was bought to take Son's place? Not
come off it. If that was the case, we would have tried to sign him.
I'm ending the stream. It's got ridiculous.
No, but do you know what the problem is for me though? Do you know what the biggest problem is? Is you mentioned it just there. The actual thing is it's not one thing. You talk about plan, you talk about players. You can almost get away with it if one of those works, right? Hear me out. You could have a team that has got very elite players without a plan, right? Teams get away with it. You can get away with it. You can get away with it if you've got average players, but you've got a good plan. We haven't got any of the circle. And when you don't have anything, so you're buying badly without a plan, it is a shambles. But again, if anyone watched Xavi Simons at Leipzig, he never played on the left. As Rain said, yeah, and Savva's right, because we look at a graph of a lineup graph and we see him on a left wing, we think, oh, he's a left winger. No, if you watch how this guy played, it was tucking in. He was getting in between your left back and your left centre back in those sort of shadow strikery kind of roles, sort of thing. Like, but the problem is it's irrelevant. We're arguing about such irrelevancy here. I'm at this stage, I couldn't give a shit about all this crap. When's our next fucking 3 points going to be? Can we?
I'm not sure it is irrelevant. I think it absolutely needs it. Wherever we are next season, it does need to be sorted out. But I think, just going back to Dan, I think the problem is, I think Dan is absolutely right. Yeah, I think no one at the club knows if Xavi was bought to replace Son. Maddison played 10 inside forward. I think, I agree with you. I think the problem is no one's got a freaking clue. I think that's the problem. The problem is not. The problem is not. He's not an inside. The problem is that nobody at the club actually has a freaking clue.
Sure, but if anyone think like, but why Xavi Simons doesn't play the same position as Son? How would he have possibly been a Son replacement?
We know that. We know that. I think that's the problem. We know that. Do they know that? No.
Do you know what? We're at a level where it's because he's wearing the same number as Son. That's probably, we're at that level of it. Like, I think we're at that level of logic.
He's a playmaker. Yeah. Xavi Simons is a playmaker that wants to drop into the pocket. Son is a direct left wing forward, if you will. Look, it's the same as anything. And welcome, Stel. And I'm only going to go for a maximum of another 10 minutes maximum because I don't want to spend all of today doing 4-hour streams. I just don't think it matters. Like, everyone seems to have one player they want to jump on at the moment. Like, my mate Marius in the chat will tell you it's all on Dragusin and Basuma, even when they don't start. Right? Someone else will blame it. Oh, it's all on Tel. It's all on Solanke. The whole thing is a fucking shit show.
Yep.
But surely we can all agree on that, Stel, can't we? That the whole thing is a one big biblical stinky mess.
Yeah, I've been saying that for 5 years.
It's a mess.
It's mental, isn't it?
But yeah, look, man, they brought in Frank and they signed Paulinho, a loan deal, which means he's not here for more than a year or two. Mwani, a loan deal, who's gone in at the end of the year. So really, only Kudus and Simmons were signed permanently. How is that building anything? How is two actual long-term signings building anything? So there's your answer. This is why I said this project was a nonsense in the summer. I don't buy anything they say.
I agree.
There was no project. There was never a project. I don't think. Do you know what? When I look back at it, I don't actually know what they thought they were doing. I don't actually know what was it. If it's not a project, what are you trying to do? Because it didn't make sense to me then. It doesn't make sense now. Now it's
what they do every year. What they do is they sprinkle a couple of players. You go, they're right, and we go, oh my god, we're amazing because we brought in a couple of. Let's be fair, we should have been buying Paulinias and Simmonses and like Kudus's. That's the level we're at, right? That we go, but everyone treated it like we were signing Erling Haaland's. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we should be signing those levels of play, but we buy one or two.
Still right though, Perchy, right? Like, if you are going to, sorry, I'm paraphrasing what you said still, right? But if you're going to bring in a Paulinho on a permanent basis for 3 or 4 years, you go, okay, that's the plan. Paulinho is going to anchor your midfield for the next 3-4 years. Spurs go, no, we'll get him on loan. How can, as a manager, forget who the manager, as a manager of a football club, how can you plan when 2 of your 4 signings in the summer, one is a loan, right? And the other loan is a guy that the day before his move fell through to Juventus and clearly didn't want to be here. Like, how can you plan for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years? And I agree. I was naive in the summer and thought, right, okay, they've paid to get the manager they want. This time they've brought all his staff with him. They've changed board directors. They've changed the medical team. I was naive. Are we seeing something different? Absolutely not. We've seen nothing different. The summer window proved it, but we buried our heads in the sand.
January was the confirmation that there's no project. In January, that was confirmation there is no project at this football club.
Correct.
You signed Conor Gallagher, who isn't what we needed at the time. We needed goals, and then you signed 2 kids that.
Oh mate,
you say there's no project. You say there's no project, and now you've just said they signed 2 kids. I actually like listening to Lange because the more the guy talks, the more you understand how thick he is. And in his post-January interview, he revealed everything. Yeah, youth-centric acquisition model, like everybody else. And I'm looking around, I'm like who?
Yeah,
Villa aren't buying kids to put in their first team. Newcastle aren't buying kids to put in their first team. I don't see Man City buying kids. I don't, the closest that Liverpool have got to buying kids to put in is Verts, and well, they spent a lot of money on him, so it's not a 20 million. 15, 20 million kid like we buy.
Season, Champions League and international footballer.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm listening to Lange and it's like, oh, like other clubs, we're investing in youth. No, mate. Unlike other clubs, you are driving us towards relegation. That's what you are doing. And you are clueless with it. You have no idea what you're doing. But
do you know what I thought? I can't, right? Do you know what? I kind of almost respect how this guy's still in a job. By the way, if you watch back all of his, because they've tried to do this thing and they've done it for a few years. And Savva, I sent you those videos of what, and it was if you go back and watch all of his interviews after a transfer window, and I want to get the transcripts of them. I can actually guarantee that basically the same. I watch back the January one, the summer one, and then the January one before that. He says the same shit. And you're going, like, I kind of want us to get relegated and then him do the same one in September when we're in, it was hard. We tried, we did this. Did you fuck? There was players available. You didn't do that because we've become arrogant. Not all of us. Fans have become arrogant in the sense to think, we're too big as a football club to go down. Nonsense. So it doesn't really matter who we bring in. We'll be okay and we'll keep sending. I'm not saying I want us to, but there's some fans deserve relegation. Some fans deserve it because I
hate the arrogance, Perchy. Forget the too good to go down argument. I hate the arrogance of whatever player is linked to Tottenham. We think we're better.
But that's my point.
I can't look. I mean, we had people in the summer going, Savio, he's shit. And you're like, sorry, Savio would be our best winger. I watched him last night in the FA Cup destroy Newcastle. Right, I watched him destroy Newcastle, and we don't want Savio. At Kliushna, he can't do it. Lookman, nah, he's not a needle mover. Gibbs White, there were people going, nah, I wouldn't want Gibbs White. Gibbs White's shit. because Wolfie told me. Wolfie told me Gibbs White shit. We would, mate, when that happens, we end up buying Tells and Odebers and Greys and Bergfels. Now, again, they might be great in the future, but we bought them for the now. And Rain is right. I go on to loads of podcasts and panel shows. People go, no, but everyone's buying young these days. Who? Who's buying young? We.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with buying young if it complements experienced quality.
If they're good enough,
purchased.
right? If
they're
good enough, then they get in.
Yeah, you're right. But we also need to be signing the experienced quality for those youngsters to learn their trade off of too, which we don't do.
That's the point. All we've done is youth, though, still. If you look at our last, I haven't done it. I reckon if you pull up our last sort of 20 signings, I reckon there's going to be at least 7, 8, 9 teenagers in that mix. Why does any one club need that many young signings?
Savva, as soon as we signed Matthias Tell and Ben Davies at the start of the window, I switched off, man. I just, for me, as soon as we signed them two, I thought, Jesus fucking Christ, what are we doing?
So
we've learned nothing. We've learned nothing.
In the last windows this season, both of them, we've signed Simmons, technically 22-year-old, Kudos, 25-year-old, Tell, kid, Gallagher, not a kid, Danzo, I think he's 24, Souza, Vuskovic, Takai. That's who we brought in this window. If we start looking at the year
Wilson,
before that,
Bergval, Gray, Ashley Phillips,
but Perchy, do you know what though? You see, this is something that I disagree with a lot of Spurs fans. A lot of Spurs fans rate Danzo. I don't think he's a good football player. He has moments where you think, oh, that's not bad, and he's good in the air. But mate, go back and watch the game against Palace. He got ripped twice. Twice he got ripped or bullied. He's not the player Spurs fans
Romero does every game, and no one calls him out.
We talk about Romero.
No, Savva, 1 second. I'm talking about the players we've just signed because Perchi was talking about the players we've just signed in the last year.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
He's a player we signed. He's a player we've just signed that people really rate. I do not rate him as a player. On the ball, I think he's poor, and defensively, the amount of time the ball just either goes past him or he gets pushed and they get in is ridiculous. What he's good at is he's good in the air, and once in a while he'll put in a really tough tackle. But overall, he's a very average defender. But we think players like him should be at Tottenham. We're never going to progress if that's the backup. We simply look at Arsenal's options for defence. They're all better than Danzo. Yeah, Arsenal's backup is all better than Danzo.
Yeah, but still, I would argue...
Yeah, they're all better than Van der Ven and Romero as well.
Yeah.
This is where the arrogant part comes. Danzo doesn't do anything worse than Van der Ven or Romero this season.
I think
because he's not the big name, he gets the stick.
Can I just say that
I think Danzo and Romero, Savva, have just checked out. I don't believe they want to be at the club, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing two players that don't want to be here. They want out.
I've seen it all season. We can talk about. I've saw it all season. But regardless, forget about those two for the second. We need to stop comparing ourselves to Arsenal at this stage. We're not even in the same stratosphere as them. Look, if Kevin Danzo, for example,
but that's where we want to be, Perchi. That's why we say it. That's where we want to be.
Let's worry about becoming better than Fulham and Palace for now. We're not even in that conversation. And I get your point. I don't disagree with you. We want to get there. Let's do this. Let's go up the ladder. Let's not try and jump up the whole ladder. If Kevin Danzo went to Crystal Palace next season to replace Guehi, he'd go in there and he'd settle in there in a settled squad next to a Lacroix, and you go,
solid.
Good defender. You're not going to sit there and say he's pulling up trees. You go, he's a decent defender. There's no stability, and players that are okay. I think Kevin Danzo's all right, but I'm not sitting there saying he is the be all and end all, because he's not. But he would go into a Crystal Palace, and you'd go settled, looks like a solid centre half. We aren't settled. And I think, isn't that the biggest problem, right? If we had a back line, look, Dragoshin and Danzo, people don't rate them fine. If you put those two as your two centre halves and go, we're going to defend as a unit, they will be fine. But we are chaos. And I always say this, no one wants stability at this football club because everyone wants chaos. because chaos sells. They want Romero going in and scything down players. They want Mickey van der Ven having to do like the incredible run back to defend, because no one wants us to be stable, right? I'm not blaming those
You've got to
two
remember
players.
that these players were bought in as by the way as well. Dragusin and Danso though are bought in as squad players.
Yeah, sure.
Right. We need to get back to the basics of buying for the first team, right? And this is what I mean. If you look at all of our windows, first of all, I didn't think the summer was great, even when people go, 4 first team starters. Even amongst that, we had to buy Takai and Tell. Like it's almost as though you can't just buy the first team players. You've got to go and buy a couple of kids as well. Then you get to the next window, Sosa and Wilson, and you're like, stop adding kids to this fragile squad that needs a first 11. Stop it. You watch in the summer. We will do the same again. We will buy 2 or 3 senior pros that everyone will massively overrate. And then we will go and buy a young player from somewhere that people will, guess what? They'll massively overrate them. Right? And then when those young players play, people go, give them a chance. They're young.
Oh,
Well, don't buy them then. If they're not ready, stop buying them. Isn't
Who's
that what
Takai?
the youth team is for?
Who's this Takai person you were talking about?
Well.
I don't recognise that name. It's like I don't, but I loved the way that Stell said, "This is where we want to be," and like instantly in my head, I'm like, which we, the people on this panel, we the Spurs fans, we the club, because I'm certain, mate. I think we can all agree that it's not we the club that wants us to be up there. I'm absolutely certain that what the higher ups want us is to be is the end of history. We're just ticking along in the European places, and they can go and do whatever commercial deals that they want to do. Unfortunately, they've messed up.
When you look at, like, people are saying to me, well, Chelsea buy. When you look at the difference, right? You look at some of the young players that Chelsea have signed over the last few years. They went and spent big money on Enzo Fernandez as a young player, right? The man was in the middle of winning World Cups at the age of 19, 20, whatever he was. They went and bought a young Caicedo from Brighton who's already ripped it up in the Premier League, right? They're buying Estevals while we're buying Tells and Odebers, right? There's nothing wrong with the age, but they've got to be good enough for your first team. And
but Savva, the difference is I think people completely forget about what Chelsea do. Chelsea will buy a load of kids, send them to Strasbourg. If they're good enough, they bring them back. They get into the first team. If they're not good enough, do you know what they do? They sell them. So, like, for example, they had that. I've forgotten his name. I forgot they didn't even sign him. They signed him, sent him to Strasbourg for a season, brought him back, and then flogged him off to someone else. And that's the difference. Using Chelsea, it is a completely different concept. No one needs to compare it.
They filter them. They get him in, and they filter out the. And do you know what Estevao is? Estevao will get in our first team. Can't get in Chelsea's first team.
It'd be our best player.
It can't get
at the moment.
Neto, who apparently, according to Big Ange. And I remember that summer we wanted. He's playing most of the minutes on that right hand side, because Chelsea will bring Estevao through when Estevao's ready. They won't develop him in their first team. They'll develop him at Strasbourg or wherever, and then bring him into the first team when he's ready.
Sorry, I've seen absolutely one of the worst comments in the chat. I'm sorry. Stel. That is one of the worst comments I've ever seen. Esteval's a glorified Odegaard. This is mental. Enzo Fernandez would be our best player.
Oh no,
this is mental.
There's a better comment. There's one from Paul Trott who says you can't judge a window before a ball's kicked. You can only judge the window during the season. I said that Timo Werner was a shocking signing when we brought him in, and then when we took him again, I said this is a disgrace. Right? This is only true if you don't watch football. It's only true if you don't watch football. Because if we signed Erling Haaland, you know that's a bloody good signing, right? I don't need to see him kick a ball. And when you sign a Timo Werner, if you go watch the last 4 years, you know this is a shocker. It's an absolute shocker.
You can't judge a window. If we signed Lamine Yamal, I'm sitting there going, we've had an insane transfer window.
If Spurs went and signed Adam Wharton in the window, right? Everyone's going to turn around and go, good signing. Like, I don't need to. I know he's a good player. But it all comes down to when you sign a player, I always look at why have they been signed? What for? And this was the point. When you sign Paulinho, but it's on a year loan, my first thought isn't, do I rate Paulinho? Because you all know I wanted him, right? My thought is, right, does that mean that we're bringing in Paulinho for 1 year, going to keep playing the number 6, but buy a younger one? Is it that we're going to get Paulinho after the year loan? We're just kicking the can down the road. Is it that we're just going to play a number 6 this year and then we're going to evolve? I don't know what it was bought for. Mawani, I can judge that signing at the time making the signing. He don't want to be at Tottenham. He don't want to be at Tottenham. We all knew that before he signed on the deadline day panic, right? Simmons, by the way, I don't know. I think Simmons can be a very good player, but again, I think needs to be in the right setup, a settled team. But we can't turn around and go, oh, we can't say these players are shit before we sign them. Well, you can. You kind of knew that this January window, we didn't do what we needed to. So I can say the window's crap because we didn't do what we needed to. Look, we seem to, I'm gonna end the show, guys, but look, we seem to go around in circles as a fan base. We can't seem to work out that without a plan and a philosophy, none of this absolutely matters. None of it matters, right? We've got
there's
to
no
stop.
plan, there's no plan.
No, I know there's no. Still, I know there's no plan. You know there's no plan. By the way, Fulham have been knocked out the FA Cup at home to Southampton, and Port Vale are beating Sunderland at the moment. But you know, I think you've got to wait and see. We need to. I know Stell doesn't agree. I think we need to stay up by hook or crook, and then if it is a Poch, for example, you bring in, get a settled team. You can play the same team each week because you're not in Europe. You don't have to rotate. Get a settled team and build. That's all I'm asking. Get a settled team. Next year, by the way, if we stay up, we don't even have to qualify for Europe. Just get a settled team, get in mid-table. I don't care. Just build. Just put a plan in place. Please build. And you'll start to see better from Gallagher, from Xavi Simons, from Kudus. You will start to see the better players will play better in a settled team. But right now, we're not getting it. Guys, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, right? If we get battered to Atletico Madrid and to Liverpool, we will spend every show after that with the fan base going, we lost to Atletico Madrid because Dragashin started at centre half. Or it's because Basuma played centre. We will always find a reason instead of actually looking at it and going, it's a fucking mess. Like the whole thing's a mess. But guys, any last comments before we go?
Yeah, can we?
Savva, I could. Go on.
No, just to say.
I was going to say,
You go. Tell you go.
So you two be quiet. You need to be quiet. And so my last word is, I've only just seen Stell's tagline, and I love it. I love it. Relegation squad.
Well, he's going to get his wish. Stell's going to get his wish very soon because I don't see, like, you know, when I did that show with Lubo and he's given me, I think we're getting 18 points from the last 12. I'm like, fuck yeah, no. What? I went for 7 and I think that was optimistic.
But what I was just going to say was, you know, normally we always do like, let's predict what we're going to do against the score against Atletico Madrid. We need to stop doing that and start predicting what our formation will be, who's going to be in our back line. Because I'm going someone like a Paulinho next to Archie Gray, next to Pedro Porro as a back three. I mean, I think we have to start. We need to start moving on to just going. Okay, we're gonna just start randomly shuffle the deck and go. Do you know what? We're gonna play Vicario as the 10, Kinski at left back. Like Sousa, you're in net today. Like because this manager will just go shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. There you go. Play where you want.
Still, finish off.
Yeah, but yeah, I was going to say I actually disagree with you. When we lose to Atletico and Liverpool, I don't think the conversation is going to be about players who let us down. I think the conversation is going to be all about Tudor. Everything will be directed at Tudor on every platform. And people in the chat saying Stel wants us to go down to make money. I don't know if you know anything about YouTube, but the chances are if we get relegated, we're going to have less viewing figures and less people watching us.
Yeah.
So we're going to make less money, guys.
It might be the initial shock. There'll be a massive upturn. And then once you get into the championship, the viewing figures will go. Yeah,
it'll go through the floor. By the way, can I just add? If we lose to Nottingham Forest, assuming that he's still the manager by then, if we do change manager after Forest, for me it's too late. If the club wants to change manager, if they think that will fix anything, they need to do it now, but they're not going to. So for me, if Tudor's still the manager after Tuesday, I wouldn't sack him on the basis that it's too late now. We've blown it. For me, we've blown it. So here's what it is.
Here's the crux of it, right? It's a great point, by the way, Star. I know you want to end, but what do people want against Atletico Madrid, right? Because I'm at the stage, and people will call this negative weather. I'm at the stage. I don't want us in the Champions League. It's the first time I've ever seen us in the Champions League in a knockout round. Going, I actually hope we get knocked. We can't keep. It's a weird one, right? Because we're never going to win it, but we could probably not. I don't think we will, by the way. I think they're going to beat us anyway. But does anyone genuinely want to see us get knocked out of this tournament of the Champions League?
This is the worst thing. This is the worst thing for Spurs in a relegation battle with this many injuries to be playing midweek as well. It's the worst possible time. But Percy, I don't think it matters what fans want. I will judge Atletico Madrid hard if they don't batter us. I think 100%. Atletico will take us to the cleaners in Spain. I genuinely think
they've got a front three of Griezmann, Alvarez, and Lookman. We're getting whooped.
And Sorloth.
We're getting whooped.
I'll kind of change this. Here's a question. You almost, for the sake of staying up in this league, you almost want them to batter us at their place. Like, let's just say it finishes 5-0 at their place. You go, tie's done. We ain't turning. Like, you can kind of write that game off at home. Go and field the Marios can get his wish right. The Williams Barnetts can play and all that lot because you go, we can't risk it. We've got the league is so much more important at this stage, right? You almost want us to get humiliated at their place. Go, tie done. Now let's just move on to because after the. If I'm right in saying after the home leg, we're playing Forest, right? Straight after. Am I right in saying?
No, we're playing Forest. Yes. Sorry, yeah.
So my point
Madrid, Liverpool, Madrid, Forest. Yeah,
So, my point is, let's just say we lose 5-0 on Tuesday. You almost go, do you know what? You take that, play all the kids against Atletico Madrid in the home leg, so you can rest everyone for that Forest game. Right, it feels like we're at that position, right?
Yeah. Look, let me do some super chats and end the show, and I'm going to send you all over to Sean's show, where they're talking about Sean Dyche for manager of Spurs. So I'll send you all over there in a minute.
Why not?
But big up first of all to chat. Jack Tipple said, "Will Atletico be Tudor's last game?" Jack, I've given up second guessing the owners and the board and the club. I don't know. Possibly. If he gets a hammering, I think the noise will be so that he will go. Big up to you, my man. Big up to Steve, who said, Enoch, 25 years of neglect has put us here. Yeah, absolutely. As we said earlier, we showed this graph. People didn't want to believe it, but look, there's the decline. There's the decline. It's happening, people. Big up to you, Steve. Big up to Jack. He's coming again and said, don't see where Spurs get points in the remaining games. Jack, I went through my last 9 games And I think I was very generous giving 7. I've got 4 draws and a win, and I feel like I am deluding myself. And I think it will be more likely like 4 points. But we'll see, Jack. We'll see, my man. Thank you very much. Big up to Blaine. Thank you very much, said Savva. When I witnessed 4 groups of people post North London derby walking past saying, well, that was a nice day out. The majority don't care. We're a laughing stock. Well, as I said, I put a video out yesterday or whenever it was, Friday, just about trying to help just make aware of protests. Not my protests, but I'm just trying to make people aware. And I got messages back going, shit fan, back the team. This doesn't help. And it was like, right, well, there you go. They don't care, do they, bro? Big up Jack's coming again, very generous. Said instead of buying Tell, get Tony and Grealish on loan. Well, this was the thing in the summer, right? I think a lot of people are sitting there going, will it be a Tony? Will it be a Grealish? Will it be a Savio? And then, like Stel said, in that first month of the summer when we bought Tell, I just went, oh, what's the point? And then you got people championing that signing, and you're like, what's the point? Big up to you, my man. Big up to Dilution 1981. Thank you very much. Says was on a Twitter space earlier, and I heard Spurs fans that want us relegated so we can start the academy players in the championship. This is how bad our standards have fallen. We accept anything. Well, we've got the leader of the Relegation cult on here, and so he wants relegation as well. But it is what it is, Dilution. Look, everyone's fed up. Everyone's got their own thing. I don't agree with it. But whether I agree with it, at the moment, I'm seeing it happen. At the moment, I don't see how we stay up. Sorry. Big up to you. And last but not least, big up to Sonny Andrea. So Chelsea have an under-25 policy, yet for some reason, all their younger players are better than ours. It's not for some reason. They go out and buy the cream of the crop of youngsters, right? They buy top players. So, yeah.
Can I say one quick thing to this obsessive account, my 2026, who keeps saying, no, you'll make more money. Look at Expressions figures. Last week, he had like 400,000 views. Right. You're talking about Expressions supporting a team in the Premier League. You're talking about our channels in the Premier League. When we go down, we will not get that attention. Arsenal, United, all the rivals won't give a shit about us because we become irrelevant to them. We don't exist in their world anymore. There's not one championship club. You go and show me one championship club that gets anywhere near the views of the Premier League channels. There's not one. So at least work on YouTube to know what you're talking about before you make these crazy analyses but Expressions does well when we lose. Yeah, because we're in the Premier League. That won't be the case when we lose to Lincoln. No.
Who's tuning in to watch his watch-alongs when we're playing Lincoln City away and shit like that?
I'm going to end the show, but I get so frustrated the number of people that tell me how my revenue works on YouTube. Do you know what I mean, Scott? Like, stop telling YouTubers that do it for a living how our YouTube revenue works, and just stop. Look, Stell is absolutely bang on. Forget all the views anyone gets in the Premier League. Now, Expressions might be an exception to the rule because he's got 500,000 subscribers and he is a character, right? He is a character.
Yeah.
For Spurs channels like us, I fully expect that my channel next year would get 300 people on a watch along instead of 1,000. I don't think people are going to want to tune in for Lincoln City away. Just saying. Anyway,
so who's this fella saying I'm not
off the shows anymore where they have like the big six, six panels, and he does a show with Don Robbie, like Spurs v Arsenal. Well, we're not versus Arsenal no more. We're not in the league. All that stops. All of those shows ends. It will end.
Exactly. Honestly, look, there's a number of reasons. But look, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to send you over to Sean. Just say Savva or FHTV Raid, whichever one. Don't diss the imps. Yeah, Lincoln are flying. And I'll end it on this. Last night at the Lincoln game, the Lincoln fans were singing, Tottenham away, ole, ole. Tottenham, I'm calling it. Tottenham Lincoln, first game of the season next year on the Friday night. Calling it. How the mighty fall. Guys, girls, I'll be back tomorrow. We've got watch along on Tuesday. Much love. Take care. And go and raid Sean. See you later.